predecessor of Olivet Nazarene University here. And the classrooms were in the same buildings, although there were very few of them at that time. They didn't expand until Olivet got into the picture. But that's where went to high school, 4 years.
Where'd you live during this period of time?
Well, we had moved with my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, after my grandfather died, because she was advanced in age and mother didn't feel like she wanted to leave her alone. So I lived on a place on Main Street where a gas station now stands. That house is back to back to my house now, here in back of me.
Okay. Now, Grandpa, I'd like you to think back to an incident in high school which you remember well. What's going on? Can you tell me about it?
Well, in high school, there wasn't a lot of extracurricular activities because school was important. And I had a tough time in high school. I had, again, math was tripping me up, algebra and geometry and all that stuff. And my mother was sick, was gone for about a month into the sanitarium. And I felt her absence very closely. But I made it all right, but didn't have good grades. One time I had 3 re-examinations. I never forgot it. It nearly broke my heart.
What's a re-examination?
You had a grade above flunking. And there you could take another exam at a later date, and which I took, and I don't know what they did, but I passed them.
Must have been nice.
Yes.
But you did graduate.
Oh yes, I graduated high school, yes.
Okay. What social group did you belong to in school? What kind of...
Well, we didn't have any social groups at the school, and the high school for sure. But I did belong to a club of boys and girls where we met once a month, and played cards, and went to a dance once in a while and so forth, things like that.
Are you still in contact with any of these people?
Yes, I am. One of the girls is still living, and I think she's the only one that's still living too.
Who's that?
Evangeline Legree.
Legree?
Legree.
Oh, okay. Did you have a favorite sport, and were you on any teams?
Well, baseball was my favorite sport, and basketball. We didn't have any place to play in grade school because the baskets were erected outside, and we were on a gravel ground, and it was very difficult to play basketball on gravel. But yes, baseball was my favorite. Football, I played a few games, but I got bottom of the pile too, and I decided that wasn't for me.
I can understand that. Who was the first girl you ever seriously kissed, and how old were you, and what were the circumstances?
First one I kissed?
Yeah.
Grandma. I can say that honestly.
And how old were you, and what were the circumstances?
Well, I was in college. I was a sophomore. Well, I wasn't a sophomore. I was later than sophomore. I was a senior in college at that time. And no, I never kissed the girls. I never. Well, I didn't think. In fact, I was afraid to.
Times have changed too.
Well, times have changed. You bet. Thank goodness.
Did you go to your senior prom? And
yes.
So,
Oh, yeah. Senior
who was
prom.
your date?
Grandma.
Okay.
My prom date, and that was very exciting. I know that I had borrowed my dad's car, and before I left, he gave me a $5 bill. I said, I got some money. He says, well, you might want to take her out to eat before you come home. So I took the $5 and we went to a convent, or a convent, no. We went to a restaurant there in town, Make Brooms, which was open around the clock.
How was it?
Oh, it was great.
Okay.
Didn't go there very often, you know.
No. Okay. If you could have changed one thing about your high school years, what would it have been?
Well, again, I was very young. I started high school. I was not 16 yet, and no, I started high school. I was not 12 yet, and I was small in stature, so that the result was that I was so much younger than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't participate in many things. I couldn't. I tried to make the varsity in football, in baseball, in my senior year in college, And the coach very politely came over and said, "You're a senior, and we can't even look at you because we've got to take care of those who are in earlier years." I was kind of hurt, but anyway, I had tried.
Yeah, that's the point. What was going on in your family during your high school years?
Well, some anxiety, I suppose, if I would make it. I never worried too much about my sister, but she was always very good in her classes, although she never finished high school. She had to finish, didn't go on her senior year because she had to be a resident student at the convent if she went in her senior year, and she wasn't about to do that. One of those silly rules that they had.
Yeah. You mentioned your dad's vacation time earlier. What were your family vacations like? I'm sure that had an effect on it.
Well, we had little or no family vacations. I remember taking one trip with the folks when I was about 7 years old, to Canada, when he took his sister to a place there, a home. She was retired, very retired, and my grandfather was getting old, so was my grandmother, and they had never taken care of her. She was staying with aunts, and the aunts were old.
Mm-hmm.
So we took her up there, and I remember riding on a train. I remember very well that we went through a tunnel, and that's when the conductor came through to collect the tickets, and he didn't see me.
So you didn't have to pay, huh?
No, didn't pay.
All right. Hope he'll never see this video.
No, no, I'm afraid I'm free.
Okay. How would you sum up your childhood and adolescence?
Oh, I think I had a good childhood. That is, I had the best parents in the world. I had a father who kept me always loaded with equipment to play ball, or no matter what it was. Later, he got me the first set of golf clubs I ever had, 4 clubs in a bag. Because I played in a course right behind our home, which was on the Olivet campus, and there was never anything that he could do me. He didn't, he didn't have that much,
Mm-hmm.
but he'd give me the shirt off his back. And my mother, well, she was had been treated that way, so she was free too.
Okay.
I wasn't spoiled, I don't think, but anyway, my mother tried to teach me music and things like that. And I wanted to go outside and play. I had more fun than that than playing on the lousy old piano.
That's understandable.
And I wish today that I had taken lessons, because I just love to play a piano or an organ.
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to shift gears for a moment here and ask you about World War I and the Great Depression of the 1930s. What impact, if any, did World War I have on your life and your family?
Well, it had no immediate effect, I think, on my family and me. I was, at the time of World War I was, let's see, 18, I was 10 years old. So it didn't have too much of an effect. Let's see, what's the other part of the question?
What impact did the Depression have on your life or your
Well,
family?
the Depression had a bigger effect on me, because that's when I finished college, in '29. And the Depression had not started, but did start to that fall, when the big crash came at the stock market in New York. And I looking for a job, and got a job at the First Trust Bank in Kankakee as a messenger. Imagine having a degree in college with a magna cum laude, and have to work as a messenger. But that was the way it was. I was lucky I had a job, because my dad knew the man who did the hiring, and I was paid $60 a month, not a week, a month.
Okay, Grandpa. Now let's get back to the subject of your education. You mentioned that you went to college. When and where did you go, and why did you choose to go there, and what did you study?
Well, St. Viator was an academy for high school and also a 4-year college school. So that was the place to go, and it was just across the street from where I lived, and that's why I went there. But I enjoyed that because I enjoyed college very much. It was a little more I was a little older, and I had reason to appreciate it.
You remember what the years were for college?
Oh yeah, I did high school from 21 to 25, and college from 25 to 29.
And what did you study in college?
Well, liberal arts, Latin and more Latin, and history and algebra and geometry, and but not geometry in college. I had algebra though, and I didn't have much mathematics because I didn't require it, and I didn't like it either.
So did you have a major area of study?
Major was French because I had French every year.
Okay. Okay, how did you do, and did you graduate?
Yes, I graduated, like I said, with magna cum laude, and that was a big surprise to me, but a great satisfaction of knowing that I had received that extra, not a degree, but a honor along with the degree.
Okay. You said it was a public school, so I imagine that the tuition there was pretty cheap. It was easy to pay for.
St. Vida was not a public school.
Not a public school?
No, the convent, Notre Dame convent was a public school.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but fees were $75 a semester.
Was that a lot of money back then?
Yes, it was a lot of money. I'm sure I didn't have to pay it, but my dad had to pay it, and I'm sure that he thought it was a lot of money too.
Okay. Now, Grandpa, I'd like you to think back to an incident in college which you remember really well.
Well, yes, the gymnasium in 1926 burnt down. A gymnasium that had been built in about 1901, and it just lit up the whole village. They couldn't stop it all. All was left was the walls that fell inside when the fire was over. Yes, I remember that very well. And the varsity had to do their games at the Armory in Kankakee to finish the season, till a new gym was built.
Okay. Who are your best friends from this period of time, and do you still see any of them?
Well, most of them are dead, I'm sorry to say. But Dee Drolet is gone. Walter Sensak is not gone. He's in California now. And let's see, who else? Gabe Beauclair. Did I say Gabe Beauclair was gone?
No, I didn't.
He's gone too. And Jay Lamontang, those are kids I was in grade school with. But other than that, Dee Drolet, and he's gone. And his brother, Joseph, was in college. I graduated with his brother, Joseph, and his also another brother, Roger. One of them, Roger, is in China somewhere. He spent his life in China where he taught school there as a Victorian father.
Okay.
But now he's just like a vegetable. He just doesn't know what's going on. Joseph is in Las Vegas and also a former teacher, in a Victorian hospital there. So I guess I'm pretty lucky.
Okay. Who'd you date during this period of your life? Anybody?
Well,
besides
the only
Grandpa?
time I ever dated in college, or nobody in high school, but it wasn't done. That's all. And just college, and I did that only when there was college dances. And Grandma, I asked her for dates. I took her to 2 of those last dances.
Okay. What'd you do on these dates besides dance?
Oh no, you're asking me. No, we just danced, you might say. It was good bands. We had some good bands, and in fact, dancing was one of our chief pastimes when I was courting her. I took her to the Aragon and the Trianon Ballroom in Chicago numerous times, and Wayne King was our favorite bandmaster, and there were many others that we always liked to go to dance to.
Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to World War II. I know you didn't serve in the armed services, but how old were you and what were you doing during World War II?
Well, World War II started in 1941. I was 33 years old. I was subject to the draft till 39. And I had taken a drafting course just to protect myself in case that I was drafted and I'd be able to do some work and not have to, you know, have special work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, I was 33 years old. I had talked. My wife had talked to a friend of hers, whose husband was at the Florence Stove Company, which was later the Roper Corporation, and they were looking for help. And they were doing war work, making a lot of ammunition and supplies for soldiers and all that. They were in the stove business, but the stove business was put aside. There was no production of stoves at all during the war.
Mm.
So she told me she was looking for somebody working in the cause department. And she said, "Yeah, I think you could do it." Well, I thought I could do it. I thought I could anyway, and I went in for an interview, and the man who hired me said, "If you worked in the bank for 14 years, he said, you ought to be able to do this very easily." So I took the job, but not without being pushed into it, because when I called home and told your grandmother that what had happened, she said, "Well, for heaven's sakes, I hope you took the job," because they were offering me somewhere almost $15 a week more, which was a lot of money in those days, which was a total of $50 a week. Well, yes, I says I took the job, and I worked there till 1970 when I retired.
Okay. What impact, if any, did the war have on your life?
Oh, not really much of an effect. The fact that I hadn't been to war, and even though my age permitted me to go, didn't have anything. Nobody paid too much attention to me because I was so close to the end of the line that they didn't think it was necessary for me to go. And I had 2 kids at home, and I sure didn't want to leave.
Okay. When did you leave home, and under what circumstances, and where did you go?
What do you mean when I leave home?
When you left home from your parents' home.
Well, only when I got married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's reason enough.
yeah, that's a good reason. And you mentioned that you've lived in Bourbonnais during your whole adult life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've lived in this house for 56 years.
Yeah.
Been married for 58 tomorrow. Anniversary is tomorrow.
Yeah. Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you.
What was your first job after you left home?
Well, my first job was at the First Trust Bank.
Okay. Did you enjoy this work?
Oh yeah, I liked it very much, but I didn't like the pay.
No.
But I enjoyed the job.
Okay. What was your second job?
My second job was at Roper, where I was cost clerk, and I evolved into budget work, which was very new after the war. And I started out in that, and I finished it up. I was budget director for the whole corporation.
And you retired from that job?
Yep.
Did you enjoy that work?
Yes, I liked it very much because it was there was a lot to do to it, and there was I was always working with the foremen and the department heads to try and meet their budgets. And it was a very good job that I liked.
Okay. What about your career have you found most satisfying?
My career, am I most satisfying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the accomplishments of setting a budget, which had to be done every year. In other words, you had to interview all the department heads and decide what they wanted, how much people they need in their departments. Then their object was to stick with that all through the year, so that they wouldn't run over their costs.
Oh, okay. What about your career would you have like to have done differently?
Well, I'll tell you, I always wanted to write, but I had hoped to be a sports reporter. You know, we have dreams like that, and I wanted to be a sports reporter, but in Kankakee, there was one newspaper, like there is now if you wish, but that department has one man, and he did a lot of other things besides being sports reporter. So there wasn't much to it. But I wrote to a cousin of mine and he was in college, and gave him the accounts of a basketball game I'd been the night before, and I wrote it like a sports reporter.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you now, or have you ever been a prominent or famous or well-known for anything?
Well, if I'm well known for anything, it's more or less local, because my first project I undertook when I was when I retired was the writing. There had never been one. The writing of the history of Bourbonnais, and I wrote the book, "The Village: A Story of Bourbonnais," and wrote it for a 1975 centennial that the village had, and I wrote the book and donated it to the Centennial Committee and the money they made off it was theirs. And after the Centennial, the money went to the Bourbonnais Grove Historical Society. I was one of the founders of the Historical Society, and I always like to think that I did left the town in better shape than when I'm going to leave it.
Good. Okay. We're going to go on to your political views now. The last time you voted in a presidential election, whom did you vote for and why?
The last time I voted
Mm-hmm.
was George Bush. Oh, I've been predominantly a Republican all my life, and voting a Democrat would have been very controversial. But I voted for Lyndon Johnson, which was a big mistake. But that's where you switch around. There's no perfect ones. They're all have something wrong with them.
So you voted for President Bush because it was the party you belonged to?
Well, that's always, like I said, Carter came along. I didn't vote for him. And way back before him, there was Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
And even before him was Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought that they were better than what the Democrats were offering. But like I said, I dyed in the wool Republican.
Okay. Are politics pretty important to you?
Not so much. Not anymore.
Okay. All right. What is your wife's full name, and when and where and how did you meet her?
Anne Marie Raymond. I met her quite accidentally one time. I was asked by one of my friends if I was going to a dance at the town hall, which was located at the intersection of 102 and 45. And I said, no, I wasn't going. He said, well, why don't you come with me? He said, I'm staggering and why don't you come with me? So I went. And lo and behold, we got there, and I thought it was a beautiful blonde dancing out there. And I pointed her out to her. He says, yeah, that's my girlfriend. She says, oh boy, she's taken already. So I found out later that she didn't care for him at all. And so I cut in on one of the times he was dancing with her, and got to meet her that way, and danced. And the next time a college dance came up, I called her up, and she was seemed to be very anxious to go. And that was one of the times I started. When I got done with college, I had that $60 a month job. I couldn't get married or even think of getting married. So I avoided meeting her. She was living here in Bourbonnais, and she's very single, although she had a steady boyfriend. And I managed to, one night I was in church, of all things. Well, I was always in the choir, so I saw her down there, and I hurried up to get out to meet her. And I asked her if she'd like to go to a show. And it was about 8 o'clock, 8:15, something like that. And she said yes. So, somebody at the door?
Nope.
So anyway, we went to a show, and that was the beginning. The beginning of my courtship with her.
Okay. What was your courtship like? altogether?
Too long.
Too long?
4 years. Well, I wasn't making enough money to get married. There's no two ways about it. I was kidding myself. And she was working as a maid, you might say, doing housework. Couldn't get anything else. So we went out and just kept on going out, and finally, well, things got serious enough that we found an apartment to live in. We decided to get married in 1935.
Okay. I think you have a picture of the wedding, too. You want to show that?
Yes.
I'll give it to you. Just hold that up. You'll
This
get
way?
a shot of it. Yep, right at the camera.
You got to admit, she was a beautiful bride.
She was. I
But she's still beautiful.
definitely agree. What would you say is the most important thing about choosing a wife?
Well, it's a gamble.
Yeah.
I was one of the lucky ones, put it that way. That's a gamble, you never know. Although I will say that I was very fortunate.
Okay, in what ways has marriage turned out to be different than you expected?
Oh, it didn't turn out any different than I expected to be happy, and with her, and we were. We had a few setbacks, especially when we lost our grandson, our eldest grandson, your mother's older sister's boy, very quickly while he was at the University of Kentucky. Died of a cancer of the liver.
I think we have a picture of him, too. You can hold that up. Right there. That's Fred.
Yeah, this is Frederick.
You get it
He'd be a
tight.
dentist today if he had lived.
Okay. Okay.
What about yours, sir?
Oh,
You got a picture of your gang?
yeah.
Might as well
there.
show that. Whoop.
That's it.
Like that, have I got it right?
Yep. Hold out in front of you.
Who's on there now?
Well, that's my mother and Greg and I.
All right.
We can talk about the children while you hold that up. Why don't you tell us what your children's names were and when they were born?
Well, children, we had only two girls. Stephanie Youngke, who married Arthur Youngke, Frederick's mother, and Marcia, the younger one, 3 years younger than her mother, than her sister, I should say. And her boys were Paul and Greg. She married Larry Rabideau, who's a teacher at KKCC.
Yep, that's all of us right there, except
Yep,
for
that's the works.
Larry. Okay, let me put this back. Okay. I'd like you to think back to the day your first child was born.
Oh, it was an exciting day. We wanted her very much, and we had been married 3 years and without any children. Beginning to wonder if we were going to have any. But like the nun told us at the hospital, when she's ready, she'll come. And it was a very loud affair. One of the men working with me at Roper, Buffalomery, his wife was there waiting for the same thing, and my wife was in the delivery room, and she was having troubles, I guess, because she was screaming her head off. Well, Buff went by and he said, "What's going on in there?" I says, "Well, they tell me she's having a baby." Oh, I see. He said, yeah.
Okay. What are some special memories of raising your children?
Well, we tried to keep everybody very busy and on a program, and the result was that we went to a resort in Wisconsin every other year. The off year we would manage to get somewhere, like we went to Colorado one year. Other times we went to Montreal, Canada, and Saint Anne de Beaupré, all those places, Canadian. And then another year we went to New York. But the off year was always in Wisconsin. What was the name of that place? Well, it's not that important anyway, I guess, because it's no longer a resort. It's all permanent homes that are there now.
Not Wisconsin Dells.
No, it's it was near the Dells.
Okay.
But Partyville, Wisconsin, just 20, 30 miles north of Madison.
Okay. What's the best thing about children, and what's the most frustrating thing?
When they're sleeping.
That's the best thing?
That's the best thing.
What's the most frustrating thing?
No, I don't know. There's some things that bound to happen. They're human beings like anybody else. And if you don't want them to do something and you do it, although I never had to do any much punishing.
That's good. All right. What's it like to be a grandparent?
It feels very old. It feels very old. But satisfying when you look back and see what you've accomplished. I've got two very fine girls, both teachers. Stephanie has taught for 30 years. Your mother, Marcia, has taught for about, I would say, 25, because she did get a job right away. And then she had two children, and she wasn't free to go to work. Yeah. Because everybody needs to work, and she's still working. Then I had three fine grandchildren, which they're always very proud of. Very proud of.
Okay. Okay, Grandpa. Now I'd like to move to a different subject area, that of your interests. Do you enjoy travel, and where have you gone?
Very much so. Well, we made several trips to Canada. We went to New York. We went to Colorado with the girls. And we made other short trips that we made, some short trips. But we managed to get somewhere almost every year.
What would you say was your greatest adventure?
Well, the most interesting trip that we ever took, I thought, was in the Canadian Rockies. We spent 2 weeks in the Canadian Rockies, between Calgary and west to the west coast, and stopped in all the big towns there, Lake Louise, Banff, and I forget what the other one was. But that was all in small buses, and we enjoyed that very much. The color of the scenery was just out of this world.
Okay. All right, what are your interests and hobbies? What do you like to do for fun?
Well, until I lost most of my eyesight, I love to write. I still do, but I can't do it, obviously, because I use the old hunt and peck system, and the only way I could find the keys, and you can't see the keys, you can't hit them. So I had to give it up. But that was probably the best. Now, today, I have nothing to do, and that's terrible. That's terrible for me. See Grandma working the way she does around the yard. We have the grass mowed. We we get transportation because I can't drive, and we're pretty well fixed, though. We're taken care of.
Okay. What organizations do you belong to?
I belong to the Knights of Columbus, the Catholic Order of Foresters, and as far as church organizations, I guess it'd be the Holy Name Society.
Okay. What about the Historical Society?
Well, yes, we belong to the whole family belongs to the Historical Society. That's a must.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Grandpa. I'd like you to take stock for a moment. As of this point in time, has your life turned out as you imagined it would?
I really never had. It seems to me I never had time to think what it would be like. But time has taken me by steps, and I guess that's the way it is, and there's no other way. Even though I don't like it very much that way.
Yeah. Okay, what has been your greatest accomplishment so far?
Well, the writing of 2 or 3 books. The last one especially, which is 450 pages long, which are stories of various incidents that took place in my early life, and how we laundered the clothes every week, always shopped for groceries, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. What's been your greatest disappointment or frustration?
Well, not being able to continue it indefinitely, I suppose. That's I always would have liked to continue, but I can't do it. And that's always been a disappointment.
Yeah. What is the most important thing in your life right now?
Staying alive. But no, the most important thing is my wife's health and my health, the success of my grandchildren, and it looks like I'll achieve that success.
Mm-hmm. What would you have done differently in your life if you knew what you do now?
I'd have got married earlier, but I would have gotten married 4 years sooner.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out that way.
Okay. What are your goals right now, and what do you hope to accomplish next?
Again, my goals are very limited now. Like I said, staying alive, keeping in good health, and hoping to live to 100. I'll even take 99.
Okay. If you could do anything you wanted to do, what would you do?
Well, I'd write. I'd be writing yet.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yes.
Anything else?
Well, I can't think of too much. Well, travel. I've done more traveling, even though we did a lot.
Okay. All right. What do you think will be the major world events during the next 10 years?
Well, of course, we always look at the astronauts, what they will accomplish in the next 10 years, and a station, what do they call those? Astronaut station?
A space station?
Space station, yes.
Yeah.
Space station, probably.
Okay. What are the most important things you have learned about life thus far?
Well, don't learn to take the knocks when they come, and just hope and pray they don't come too often.
Okay. What is your philosophy of life?
Well, give it all you've got when you can, and try and accomplish all that you can. Don't limit yourself when it comes to other people. Give them all the help they need if you're able to. And here I'm in a very different, strange location. I'm close to Olivet, although I don't know the people over there too well. I mean students. I don't know the students too well. But I know the faculty quite well. And they send a lot of them over here in projects exactly like you're doing now, interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to do that. I also did a lot of speaking in the early days of the Historical Society. I went different societies and gave a talk on the Historical Society, why we should have one. And my first talk was at the Rotary Club in Kankakee, and my gosh, I was scared stiff. But I got used to it, and it worked out real good.
Yeah, that's why I thought of you first when I had this project.
I kept very busy.
Okay, what role has religion had in your life?
Oh, it's always been, I suppose, it's always taken a priority.
Yeah. Okay. Can you give me some examples of right and wrong?
Well, I think everybody knows what wrong is. You don't murder anybody and think you're going to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And getting away with it wouldn't be right. But a lot of people would take it that way, I suppose. I don't know if I can answer that very well. That says you've got a code of morals, and that's you've got to follow.
Okay, that's good. All right, Grandpa, we're getting near the end of the interview now. The next part is about the advice you have for the future generations of your family. First, what advice do you have for your great-grandchildren in the area of getting an education?
Get all the education you can. You don't have, in my day, the limit was Bachelor of Arts.
Mm-hmm.
Very few went any further. Now you're going for majors, and that's right now that's pretty common.
Master's?
Master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
And like again, if you get more than that, fine, go ahead and do it. You can't have too much. Art went on and got his doctor's degree in its education, and he's done very well with that degree. He's he's called on to evaluate schools and things like that on the side. It just gives him a little extra money. And your dad has his master's degree in what did he take?
Physics.
Physics, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing very well with it. So you guys with your masters, you and Greg, should do very well with it too. I suppose maybe later on they'll expect you to expect a student to have more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what advice would you give them about choosing and managing their careers?
Because what about what?
Choosing and managing their careers. Advice to your great-grandchildren.
Well, be sure to get advice on what career you want to follow, and how you can, get it without breaking your neck and spending all the money that you make. But I think you should get all the advice you can get.
Okay. What advice do you have about money for your great-grandchildren?
Well, don't spend it all. Keep some for a day, and that's something else. I think we've managed that quite well.
Mm-hmm. What about love and marriage?
Well, that's to each his own. If you can find one you love, I suppose you should marry her. If you don't, you don't, because that's just brings out trouble. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How should they raise their children?
Well, according to the golden rule, I suppose, as much as possible.
What's the golden rule?
The golden rule? That's what the Bible teaches.
Okay. All right, Grandpa. Probably all the future generations of your family, our family, will watch this tape. Since you have the opportunity right now, what personal message would you like to give to them?
Well, some of you I won't see. I love you very much anyway. Be good to your parents. Be good to your brothers and sisters. Do well and work hard, and you'll accomplish all that you want to accomplish.
Okay, good. Okay, Grandpa, we're at the end of the interview. Is there anything else you'd like to add or say to complete things? Take as much time as you'd like.
I thought I've said it all, but I just repeat what I just said, I suppose.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you, Grandpa, for being with us today. This concludes our interview. I'm Paul Rabideau. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you there?